The sky did not scream, it did not rage, it simply shifted, and in that subtle movement, something irreversible began. The morning should have arrived gently, as it always had, light stretching across rooftops, birds rehearsing their ordinary songs, wind wandering through open fields without purpose. But this morning, the wind stopped mid-breath, wings froze in suspended air. Clouds held their shape as if afraid to move. It was not chaos, it was awareness. Because the sky had not forgotten the world, it had found her. And when it responded the first time, something inside Elia responded back. At first, she told herself it was coincidence. Children are good at dismissing the impossible. Adults are better. When her fingers touched the lake and the water curved into that familiar arc, she blamed the wind. When she exhaled and the trees leaned away as if listening, she blamed imagination. When distant thunder answered the rhythm of her footsteps, she told herself it was timing. But coincidence does not repeat with precision, patterns do. And the pattern was growing clearer. The sky was not reacting randomly. It was synchronizing to her breathing, to her pulse, to the silent storm she carried within her chest. And the more she tried to ignore it, the stronger it became. Elia touching water. Ripples form arc shape. She breathes, steady wind responds. She steps, distant thunder echoes.
Motion is energy. Energy is frequency. And frequency connects.
Fear was the first true test. It came suddenly, sharp and cold, the way fear always does. And when it did, the sky flickered, not violently, not destructively, but unmistakably, a pulse of red through blue, a ripple across the horizon. Elia froze. The world froze with her. And in that suspended second, she understood something that no one had ever taught her. Emotion is not invisible. It is energy, and energy does not disappear. It moves, it vibrates, it travels. Every fear she swallowed, every hope she whispered, every question she buried beneath silence had been rising upward. And something above was listening, not to her voice, but to her frequency. When she steadied her breathing, the red faded, the sky softened, calm answered calm. For the first time, she did not feel chosen. She felt aligned.
An ancient stone carving discovered near her home, featuring a prominent arc symbol intricately carved long ago into weathered stone. Someone knew.
The carvings were older than memory, buried beneath dust, hidden beneath years of forgetting, but they had not been erased. On stone worn smooth by centuries, the arc appeared again, not as myth, not as decoration, but as record. A child beneath the sky, arms lifted, light bending downward. This had happened before, not once, but many times. The world had always believed the sky was silent, but silence does not mean absence. It means waiting for the right signal, waiting for resonance, waiting for someone whose inner world was loud enough to be heard without speaking. Elia traced the carving with trembling fingers. She was not the beginning. She was part of a pattern older than history, and patterns never exist without purpose.
But silence does not mean absence. It means waiting. Waiting for the right signal. Waiting for resonance. Waiting for someone whose inner world was loud enough to be heard without speaking.
Why me? The question escaped her before she could stop it. It was not pride. It was not excitement. It was fear of responsibility. The sky pulsed gently above her, not as command, but as reassurance. The universe does not choose the strongest. It does not choose the loudest. It does not choose the most powerful. It chooses the one who listens, the one who feels deeply enough to vibrate differently. Strength can be forced, but alignment cannot. And Elia, without knowing it, had been listening her entire life to the wind, to silence, to the quiet spaces between things. That was why the sky responded, not because she demanded it, but because she matched it.
Sky, respond to me. I know you're listening. Please, show yourself.
But resonance travels both ways. When two frequencies align, others can hear the signal far beyond the horizon, beyond mountains and oceans and sleeping cities. Another pulse flickered, fainter watching, waiting. The sky had answered her, but it had also announced her, and not everything that listens with peace. The arc widened across the darkness, not as an ending, but as a beginning, because connection is never the final chapter, it is the invitation. But the sky was not the only one watching, and what answered her had awakened something else. A dim underground chamber, arc symbol faintly glowing on a wall. They had watched the pattern for centuries, waiting, recording, remembering what the world chose to forget. And now, the pattern had split in two. Arc projection divides into two faint signals, two pulses, one calm, one storm. The keepers of the arc did not fear the sky. They feared imbalance. Because when two frequencies rise together, the world must choose which one it will amplify. Elia looked up once more, not with wonder, but with awareness. She was no longer alone in the alignment, and somewhere far away, someone else had just opened their eyes. Cut to black, low bass, hit on-screen text. Elia looked up once more, not with wonder, but with awareness. She was no longer alone in the alignment, and somewhere far away, someone else had just opened their eyes.
Infinity Arc Studios, where stories become infinite. Infinity Arc Studios, where stories become infinite.